Okay, we are recording, and I'm in the nice shirt again with the pins. Yay! Um, this is what, story 29 out of Grimm's Fairy Tales? The Golden Bird, as I recall. It's a long one. I have a fair amount of notes. A lot of the notes are really just summarizing. Which, this is a summary. Got a king. It's got a tree. It grows golden apples. And every time they come ripe, what happens? They get counted. Makes sense. They do that, and then the next day they find one is missing. Well, somebody needs to stand watch. I have 3 sons. Eldest, you sit there, guard the tree. Let's find out what happens. And at midnight, he falls asleep. In the morning, another apple's missing. You have failed me. Second son, you do this. Same thing happens. While it is not specific as far as saying that the third son, the youngest, is stupid, that's the flavor of it. Is that yeah, he's not really that good, not really that reliable, but it's like, fine, I'll let you do it. So he does, and he manages to stay awake. And when he does, he sees a golden bird come and take an apple. Now, he does have his bow and arrow, and shoots at it. And it doesn't hit the bird such that it causes harm, though it does drop a golden feather, so evidence that this has happened. King looks at it, gets together his council, who are like, this thing is beautiful, and honestly, that one feather is probably worth more than your whole kingdom. So the king's like, well, I cannot be satisfied with just one. Give me the bird! So the eldest son is sent again, despite him having failed before. Encounters a fox. This fox will be throughout the story. And is going to shoot it. And the fox is like, no, well, don't. I know what your quest is. I can help you. There's a village. When you come to that, there's 2 inns. One is brightly lit, and there's a lot of song and cheer there, riot and raucous, all that. Don't go in that one. Go into the other one that looks miserable. Fairly traditional kind of statement, actually, for fairy tales. Anyhow, he's like, you silly beast. Why would I ever listen to you? Fires. Misses. He's like, whatever. Goes on. Comes across the inn. The 2 inns, and it's like, why would I ever listen to him? This is clearly the better inn. I'll go and spend the night there. Yeah, he ends up being there for months, enjoying the rioting, raucousing, the pleasure that it offers. So after some months, second son is sent out. And exact same thing happens. He chooses the pleasure instead of continuing on the quest. That is for his father and all that. So now the youngest again must plead, and the king's like, fine, you can go. But to the king, it's like, I know if he gets lost, he's never going to make his way back. He has no capability for that. It's like, what is it with being mean to these youngest sons? Come on, man. Anyhow, counters the fox. But it's like, I wouldn't hurt you. Why would I do that? And thank you. And fox is like, okay, here, get on my back. I'll even take you to the village. So you get there really fast. And it describes that he doesn't even look at the inn. He just goes the raucous one. He goes immediately into this one, spends the night, wakes up, gets out. Fox again is like, okay, you find the golden bird in this castle. There are guards. Ignore them. They're sleeping. They're snoring. Just walk on by them. You'll find the bird in a common cage, like a wood cage, in one of the chambers. There's also going to be a golden cage. Don't move the bird into the golden cage. Just take the common one and go. You're good. Yeah, no, he doesn't do that. He sees the golden cage and is like, oh, the golden bird, it's so magnificent. Surely I should place it in here. The moment he touches the bird to move it, it cries out. So the guards wake up, sees him, and he's under arrest. And the decision is, you're dead. We're sentencing you to death. Okay, that's not so good. But the king there is like, look, I'll make you this deal, though. I'll give you your life. I will even give you the bird if you bring me this golden horse I've heard of, which is said to be able to run faster than the wind itself. Okay? Alright. Goes out, finds the fox, and the fox is like, I told you what to do. Despite you not listening to me, I'm still going to help you. That's the castle over there, has the horse. Go into the stable, don't mind the groomsmen. They're all asleep, won't be a problem. But when you put the saddle on, take the common saddle. Don't take the gold one. Again, he gets there and is like, this horse deserves this saddle that's truly worthy of him. The instant the golden saddle touches the horse, it makes a noise, wakes up all the groommen, arrested, all that again. So now this king is like, you're dead. unless you're willing to go out and bring me the princess from the golden castle. You do that, you'll live, and you'll get the horse. Okay? At this point, I'm wondering, okay, what's going to be the fourth castle? There isn't, but I'll get to that. Comes out, the fox is there, and it's like, again, you need to listen to me when I tell you these things, but I'm still going to help you. So takes him to the golden castle and tells him, okay, and this actually does sound a little weird, but anyhow, he's like, at midnight. By the way, I forgot to mention this. It's the apples disappearing was also at midnight, and describes that the elder brothers fell asleep at midnight. So it does seem like the bird, the midnight is significant here, that the bird like commands him to fall asleep at midnight, but he managed to stay awake. And then here it's at midnight when the princess comes out to go to the bathhouse to bathe. And what the fox told him is, go up to her and give her a kiss, and she will follow you now. He does this, and it works. Okay. I guess in fairy tales, women are a bit simpler. Well, at least can be. Anyhow, I don't think that would work today. But the fox also warned him, if she asks you to take leave of her parents, don't let her. Say no, just get back to this castle. Hey, I'm trying to remember some of it. But anyway, he, of course, ultimately does relent. Because how can he, like she falls down at his feet weeping over this. It's like, oh, fine. But the moment she starts talking to her father in the bed, whole castle wakes up, grabs him, he's arrested. Now I'm trying to remember, how did he? Oh, that's right. This king, instead of bring me something, he wants something done, which is, there's a hill right there. It blocks my view. You have 8 days to remove it. You do that, you can have the princess. You can have my daughter. Okay. Evening of the 7th day, he's like, I'm gonna die. I failed. I screwed up all the... Fox comes back again and is like, okay, dude, you don't deserve it. I'm still gonna help you. Go to sleep. Don't even worry about it. I'll take care of it. And he somehow does. We do find out the fox is charmed, so there's magic to him. Exactly what kind of magic, I'm not entirely sure, but whatever. Hill is gone, so the king is like, cool. Wait, now I have to give you my daughter. Alright, here's your daughter. Here she is. See ya. So now he goes back with the fox because to the castle with the horse that wanted the princess. And the fox tells him, okay, here's what you're going to do. Because the horse actually belongs to her, meaning that, like, you can't leave the princess there and take the horse. That's not right. They need to be together. So here's what you can do. You get on the horse. You start taking leave of everyone. You're saying goodbye, all that. Start taking leave of them before you leave. And by the way, it even says, when the princess gets it, they will be celebrating like you've never heard before, never seen before. It's great. Do this. Now, take your leave of her last. And when you do, just grab her hand, pull up onto the horse, and run. Because the horse is not only golden, also described as running faster than the wind. I think I said that earlier. Don't quite remember. Just do that, you'll be fine. So does that, outruns them all, so now he is the horse and the girl. Cool. Now they get to the place with the bird. And the fox is like, okay, let her off here, like, outside of the castle. She'll stay with me. Don't worry, I'll keep her safe. Go in there. They will be so happy at seeing the horse, they will bring out the bird in its cage for you. It doesn't say which cage, by the way, and also didn't say which saddle he's on, but either way. Once you get hold of the cage, run out here to meet us, and we'll go on again. So he does this. So it is kind of funny, he is technically stealing, but there is that element of, well, the princess is with him now. Ultimately, they will get married. And the horse belongs to her, so the horse has to stay with her, and he needs to get the bird back to his father. It's not said that the bird belongs to her, but I could believe that she is the princess of the golden castle. This is a golden horse and a golden bird, so it's possible that they were taken from the castle somehow. Anyway. So he does that, gets out there, and it's like, now meeting the fox again. The fox says, okay, I've helped you immensely. You have all these things that you want. Which potentially, even if we go a little symbolic, the princess is, well, your queen, your wife. You have love. The bird could represent wealth, because he's even described as being wealthy, as being that one feather is worth more than a kingdom. And the horse could be representative of military might, since, cavalry and such. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing there, but it's not unreasonable. 3 things that you would want as a king. A good and faithful queen, wealth for the kingdom, and the ability to defend it. So, but the fox is like, okay, you have all that now. You're great. I want my reward now. What is it? Shoot me, cut off my head and my feet. He's like, you deserve better than that? So, no? I don't really want to do that to you? I mean, it's like, come on, how can I do that to you? You've been great to me, how can I do that? So the fox is like, okay, I get it. I'm leaving again. Here's my final piece of advice for you, though. Do not buy gallows flesh. Why would I ever buy gallows flesh? And don't sit on the edge of wells. I have never in my life wanted to sit on the edge of a well. I think I'm good. Bye. So he continues on with the princess, the horse, and the bird. Comes to that village where the 2 inns were. And there's some ruckus around. Because it's going to be a hanging today. Who? These 2 pranksters that they've been just such a problem and all that. Like, we need to hang them. 2? Yeah. The brothers. Because they have been living such a debauched life that's their punishment. So he loves his brothers. And is like, can I buy their freedom? Yes. So he buys their freedom. They are the gallows flesh. And then as they are continuing on the way home, actually right around the area that they first encountered the fox, all 3 of them, they decide to stop there and talk. And there's a well there. And the youngest, forgetting himself, sits on the edge of it, just sitting there to, talk with them all somewhere comfortable. So his evil brothers, evil not just because they push him in, evil not just because they were sentenced to death, but also evil because despite having a purpose, despite having a quest to them, I think purpose is a better way to put it, and the warning of don't go into this pleasure, going into this pleasure. I do think that there is potentially the element of the idea earthly pleasure versus what you will obtain ultimately. I don't know. There's a part of me that's a little tempted to maybe do one of these things on the Pilgrim's Progress, which is the first English novel, as I recall. And I did read it a few years ago, so I could. I think I just have other things I'd want to do first, if I do get to that at all. But you do see some elements there, because I think that the moral here is you basically don't just give into the pleasure. You do have these purposes. You need to fulfill these purposes. You have these other responsibilities. Do that. Don't just give those up because, this other thing is so much more enticing, so much more pleasurable. So the brothers push him in and then take the horse, the bird, and the girl, head home, and see what we did, Dad? Aren't we awesome? They also set up guards around the forest so that if anyone matching their brother's description tries to leave, kill him. Okay. You'd think somebody would be aware of that, but he also did survive because the well was dry, so it was just moss at the bottom, but he can't really get out because it's so straight. But one last time, the fox is like, you don't deserve this, you really don't, but I'm still going to help you. So in that way, the fox does kind of represent Christ it's like with the whole worldly pleasures versus what you should ultimately be trying for, Christ's constant forgiveness of you despite you're making the bad choices, the incorrect choices. That, he is regretful of making these choices, and it's like, I'm still going to help you. I'm still going to help you. So he does help. But he also does tell him, if you walk out of here, they're going to kill you. But fortunately, there's this old beggar-type guy walking by. They trade clothes. So now this lets him get in. And one thing I forgot to mention, the brothers' lie has repercussions. Not strictly for them, but that the bird does not sing, the horse does not eat, and the princess just sits there and weeps. They also, by the way, threatened her life if she told the truth. But it describes at the moment, even in his disguise, so no one recognizes him. The moment the youngest, returns home, returns to the castle, the bird starts singing, the horse starts eating, and the girl stops weeping. And now she also, and hang on, is it actually just, where was the description from, I should say? Okay. No one knew him, but the bird began to sing, the horse began to eat, and the beautiful maiden left off weeping. The king, astonished, asked, "What does this mean?" Then the maiden said, "I do not know, but I have been so sorrowful, and now I am so happy. I feel as if my true bridegroom had come." She told him all that had happened, although the older brothers had threatened her with death if she were to betray anything. Okay. So then everyone is brought forward, and even though he still is in the ragged clothes and not one to really recognize by anyone else, she immediately goes to him, throws her arms around him, and is like identifying, yes, this is the youngest son. So then the eldest are put to death. I mean, to be fair, they kind of earned it. Like, they are evil, wicked men, so yes, put them to death. He's made heir to the king. Marries the princess, all that. So one day he goes out into the forest again, finds the fox there. And hang on, what is actually? Let me just go back to this. When the fox met him and said, "You have everything now that you can wish for, but there is never an end to my misery. Yet it is in your power to free me." And again he asked with tears to shoot him dead and chop off his head and feet. The youngest does that. And the moment he does, it is revealed that the fox was not always a fox, but was actually a man who was charmed in this, and more specifically, the princess's brother. So the prince of the Golden Castle, which would explain how he knows various things, and the charm is broken. He is now finally free of that curse. And the youngest, he lives happily ever after. He has everything that he could ever want. So, yeah. The moral, I think, is, well, I'd already been saying it, the whole stay to your purpose kind of thing. Don't give in to these earthly pleasures. And also, as I was saying, potentially that you can still be forgiven even if you do fail, even if you do falter. Because the fox constantly did, and ultimately does see that. And I guess also, again, a kind of Christ metaphor, the whole, what is the reward there for you have, it's like, you've received all this forgiveness, well, what is the reward for the fox? Death. And mutilation, even. I mean, yeah, probably where some of that comes from is the Bible. Yeah. I kind of liked it. I kind of like this story. And I think partly it's because it is a full story. I was like, some of these other ones, there are details being left out. This actually felt pretty full. It's also kind of funny because, to a certain degree, I could leave out the mutilation, but you could probably actually have made this story into a movie. I don't know if Disney ever did, but I could believe Disney would have been able to make an animated film out of this that would have worked. Just, maybe don't mutilate the fox in the end. Kill him, yeah, but don't mutilate him. And you probably could have and it probably would have worked. I don't think he would have needed to make many changes, but I don't think it was. I'm not familiar with it ever, with that story, with there being any movie based on this story, but it's not like I know every movie. But yeah, no, I did like it. I did like it. And I don't think, as I said, I don't think it needs more details. Like, if I were to rewrite this, I don't think I would change much to it. And not that I would, just because I mentioned in a previous one of these videos that I do see there being details missing. It's like, I want to know what they are, and if I were writing it, I'd put them in, but I got other stories to write first. But it's still very interesting, and I'm learning, and maybe I will use this at some point. Alright, so what's next? The Raven. Let me quickly see how long this is. Because this last one, the Golden Bird, was actually pretty long. Raven is also a decent length. I don't think as long, but pretty close. It's kind of an interesting plate for this next one. 3 robbers. Now they're all fighting each other. Are there any particularly good? Not that one so much. No. Look at this plate, though. So you've got the fox there and the youngest riding on it. So yeah, with a sword, red hair. So I was just looking at another image. So I mean, looks like a well-dressed man at the time. But we also have this one that's not as interesting. Black and white, him riding off with the princess on the horse. But I wanted to look closely. It does look like the sword looks a little different, but probably very similar. Okay, that's enough. So yeah, I like this one. I like this one. Got no complaints. Just it is also a story that makes a lot of sense to me that you would tell to children. Because it does have lessons in there. All right. See you next time.